Good evening, chat room. Welcome in. So today we're playing a game that was gifted to me by the amazing Shoop. Yeah, she gifted me this. She shot me. She did a lot of people. I had to pay her back for that, so I'll figure something out eventually for that. But for now, yeah, we're gonna be playing some Ace Attorney Investigations. I played the Ace Attorney series a lot. Like I played the entire trilogy. And then the games afterwards, except for, I think, the only ones I haven't played are the ones through the time ones. So, I'm looking forward to this. It should be a good time. I really like just how ridiculous these games are, so. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's see what we can do here. Turnabout visitor. March 14th, on 16 a.m. Some fucking place, I guess. To make sure the defendant is found guilty, what other choice do I have? It's the job of a prosecutor, after all. Oh, I had the Silver Samurai in the background. That may be true, but why? Why go this far? Sorry, maybe I wasn't clear enough. But the guilty verdict is all that matters to me. No matter what the cost. I am a prodigy amongst prosecutors. Always have been, always will be. Two of my main prosecutors, building 12th floor, hallway. It's hard to believe that I've been away from my office for a whole month. Gumshoe has been keeping an eye on my office and keeping it clean. The door is unlocked. Detective Gumshoe? What's the smell? It's very familiar. Blood! What the? What is the meaning of this? Freeze! Identify yourself. Shut up. You got some nerve committing murder at a prosecutor's office. Is that a threat? Let me make one thing very clear. What? No one gets away with committing murder in my office. No one. My name is Miles Edgeworth, and I work as a prosecutor in my local district. Little did I know that upon my return home after a month abroad, I'd be thrusted into a multitude of cases and some very frantic and busy days. I finished photographing the victim's body, sir. Very well, please continue your investigation. Yes, sir. Mr. Edgeworth, sir, are you okay? Keep it down, detective. This is a crime scene. When I heard the murder had taken place in your office, I ran up here straight away. This is Dick Gumshoe. He is a detective with the local precincts, and the one they assigned to handle this murder case for the time being. You're looking a little pale, sir. You hurt? No, I'm perfectly fine. However... Ah! Look what they did to your office! It's totally trashed! I'll say the culprit has sullied my floor with dirt rather well. No one gets away with tracking mud into my office. Well, it sounds like you're really getting burnt up over this whole thing. Crime was committed in my office. It was my responsibility to solve it. Oh, it's just like you, Mr. Edgeworth. Okay, time to do some investigating. Agreed. Our first course of action is to gather relevant facts and leads. Must not overlook anything, no matter how small, if we have to find the truth. So keep any leads and information we find etched in the forefront of my mind. Speaking of things that pique my curiosity, why of all places did the murder occur in my office? I get the nagging feeling this is something important to keep in mind. Yeah, I was wondering that myself, sir. I mean, you can't really say it's just a coincidence, can you? No. Not especially because of this. Key to your office? What do you mean, sir? If you think about it carefully and use logic, it should become clear to you. Logic? By finding the connection between the two pieces of information and connecting them, new information is born. That is the end result of using logic. So how do you use it? First of all, I recall the information we've gathered with Q and then I connect them together with T. Use Q and recall the facts. So you Q. Bomb! For security reasons, all prosecutors' doors are outfitted with locks. It means it would have been hard for the murderer to get and the victim to get in here. Ergo, it's important to dismiss the location of this crime as a mere coincidence. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, sir. There must be a reason why someone infiltrated my room. Where was the killer after? You're really on the ball today, Mr. Edgeworth. That's some beautiful logic, sir. I tried again. I should make him sound like fucking Joey Wheeler. That's what I should do. Yes, well, when you follow leads to their conclusions, only the truth remains. However, if the information doesn't line up properly, I may stray far from the truth as well. But if I think carefully before piecing leads together, the logic should flow. I'm back to 10 channel points in Jared's channel. Good job. Let's start with our investigation, shall we? Yes, sir. The basis of any good investigation is to examine everything, sir. I know that, and when I want to examine something, I simply use space when I'm next to it. If you're lost and want to talk, just use T, okay? I'll give you great, precise advice as an ace investigator, sir. I'll try later if I have free time, I suppose. Edward. That. Over here. It's supposed to be the murder weapon? So it would mean that the killer made their escape after disposing of their gun here. I think I've seen one of these before. Care to enlighten me as to where? Oh, I know! It was issued the exact same model. I think. Detective. I don't really like guns all that much, sir. I mean, they're really dangerous. When I think about it, you do see this model around the precinct a lot, sir. I don't use mine except in emergencies, that's why I don't recognize it. It's the same type of revolver as the ones used by the precinct's detectives. Ouch, they even knocked over your chess set. I had it all set up ready for when you go back. Figured we could play a few games. I had no idea you were interested in chess. I'm actually pretty good at checkers, but I thought I'd give chess a try. In that case, I suppose I can set some time aside after we solve this case. I don't expect the games to tax my mental acuity much. Finish photographing the bodies. It should be alright to examine this area. I won't rest until I've inspected everything, looking for every nook and cranny. I believe it. I packed those files on the shelves so tight. Even an earthquake can make them fall off. Just look at them. At this rate, the rest of the files won't be able to end an earthquake at all. Problem to be sure. Well, once the investigation's over, we'll put them back on the shelf. Nothing of interest here. Let's see here. There's blood all over his lower abdominal area. Looks like the bullet passed clean through his stomach area, sir. In other words, he was shot. Yep, and the autopsy report's done. I don't think we'll know much until the autopsy report's done. I don't think we'll know much more than that. Please have the body sent to the morgue once they're done processing the crime scene. You gonna be okay with keeping track of the evidence we find, sir? Of course. This is the safest way I know to keep track of it all. If you say so. Which I find either in or with my organizer. When I want to re-examine a piece, I have but press E to open my organizer. This is only for evidence. I keep people's profiles and data too. Probably a good idea to make a habit of checking the facts often. What do we have here? I think I've seen one of these before. It's a police badge, detective. Oh, hey, I have the exact same thing, actually. What a coinkydink. Let's take a look inside. Mr. Buddy Faith. It would appear that our victim was a detective, just like you. Since I gathered a few pieces of pertinent information, I'll need some logic to figure out how any of them are connected to each other. Alright, let's do it. The victim was a detective. A revolver. Gun. That's his gun. The revolver, the standard model used by detectives. Who did it belong to our recently departed? Detective Gumshoe, could you please thoroughly check with the victim's body one more time? Yes, sir. On it now, sir. Excuse me, pal. Let me see what's in here. What we've got here. Mr. Edgeworth, sir. The guy's wearing a gun holster. Gun's wearing a gun holster. Yeah, the world is anyone so wet, yeah, right? It appears that our killer somehow managed to take the victim's gun from behind him. See what else we can find out about this revolver. As I always say, you gotta look really careful at each piece of evidence. You can use that arrow keys to rotate an object. There's no such thing as a bad angle. You will need to zoom in and out to get the nitty-gritty. Alright, let's see. Only one round was fired from this. The killer killed the Vic with just one shot after wrestling gunpowder. It's a guy we knew how to handle a gun, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? We have no proof for now, but that is a distinct possibility. It's so easy to take a life with just the pull of a trigger. You know, I can't ever see myself really liking guns. Oh, but I love the ones that use the track and field meets to start races. Use take off before it's fired, everyone looks at you funny. Just chase down for a full start, detective. And you mentioned it, even when I finish first, I always wind up last place. Bag probably fell out of his pocket during the struggle. I always take extra care to make sure mine doesn't fall out of my pockets, sir. Oh? I always have it down at the bottom of one of my super deep pockets, without fail. That's why he sees when taking his tattered coat off his cleaners. Body at once over. His lower abdominal area. The bullet passed through his stomach area, sir. In other words, he was shot. Right. Yep. If the autopsy is done, we'll get much more than that. And hello, Dax. Welcome in. Well, this case quickly. I'd like to return to relaxing on the sofa. With a bit softer than my mattress at home. Is it not you? Just for a little while, sir? Detective Gumshoe, you know I can't allow that. So this case is solved, neither of us has time to spare, let alone rest. You're right, Sherlock. I'm gonna work hard to be real hard. Even once this case, no, I don't think you can afford to take time out of this. As I come along, please, I need absolute silence. Fingerprint lifting is a delicate art. Oh, I never. Oh, watch out for the teacup fragments there, sir. Our killer's going to pay this tea set. I'm still really mad over this. This tea is very dear to my heart. It can only be bought in England. It costs more than your whole month's paycheck. What? Now I feel like the killer's wasted one of my monthly paychecks. Oh, the floor, sir. It probably fell during the struggle between the victim and his killer. Oh, I tried so hard to keep the place spotless while you were away. You just read there all this time and effort I put in. Pointless. I'm never asking you to clean my room. I watered the flowers every day just like you requested, sir. I just added cleaning to the list as a weekend day special. About half a day every Saturday, I'd come in and clean the place until it sparkled. So you have a life? Well, no, we're going to find out. Should send the body to audit. Jim! Why, how could this happen to a guy like you? Are you alright? Don't touch me! Leave me alone, just let me be. Sorry, but I can't do that. The investigation is still ongoing, so please refrain from touching the body. The body? The body? Don't talk about him like some kind of lump of flesh. Look at him, it looks like he's just turned in for the night. Sure, just the blood-stained soup, pal. Where are my manners? Aren't you that prosecutor? I say I'm Jacques Portsman, prosecutor. Jim here is my partner in crime busting. I'm Miles Edgeworth, and like you, I'm also a prosecutor. Detective Dip Gumshoe, sir. So you're Miles Edgeworth. Guess this is your office? Yes, that's correct. Then it was you. You're the one who killed Jim. Alright, don't go jump a conclusion, pal. Just calm down, okay? I will not. I know how things work around here. My prosecutor's office, all doors have all locks have locks built into them. And only the owner of the office has the key to his or her own office. That is correct. However, I was not the one who killed your partner. Yeah, Mr. Edwards has been overseas on a business trip this whole time, pal. And his key to his door was with me the entire time, okay? So I'm the only one who could have gotten in here was me. Oh, wait, that means... I'm not sure what that means. So it was you then. You're Jim's killer. No way, pal. You got it all wrong. Everyone calm down. Sportsman, correct? If you're a real prosecutor, you should know to stay collected. The investigation has only just begun. Isn't it too early to be drawing conclusions? Alright, I get the point. You're right, my mistake. I tend to get a little too high-headed sometimes. Sure are one cool customer, though, Mr. Edgeworth. I've heard all the rumors about you. You're the great genius prosecutor. You're something of a legend, you know. Anyway, let's call a truce and work together, okay? Okay, how about a handshake to seal the deal? A pleasure to work with you. You guys for conducting your investigation, right? Sorry for barging in like that. Carry on, then. It's your room, after all. Thank you, I intend to. Just want a little more time to say goodbye to Jim. You there, sir. I want you to capture the scene on film for me. My final farewell to my partner, Jim. Should probably give them some space. Ah, your jacket, sir. What's it doing on the floor? It must have fallen off the wall when the killer tried to threaten me by firing a round. So the killer's not only shot the victim, but they shot your jacket as well. They dared to shoot the ultra special jacket that you made your prosecutorial debut in. What if they had shot through it? It could have been, what did it say? It would have been a disaster. Not worth getting worked up over, detective. Not when there's something more here. Like what? You haven't noticed it yet, detective. There's a giant contradiction right here in front of us. Really? I say contradiction. He must be rubbing off on me. I'm starting to sound like him. Hey, what's going on, Jay? I have one of the methods of investigation. For me, it contradicts a piece of evidence. Seems off. My deductive skills come into play. First, I have to find the thought that holds the contradiction. This is it. This bullet hole is where the contradiction lies. I spot something like that's off. I should put my cursor on it and proceed with conviction. When sufficient proof to prove the contradiction, I present it. That's how I do things. Eureka! Eureka! Oh, this contradiction. What do you mean, sir? It's elementary. 2 shots were fired in this room. The first felled the victim. And the second felled this frame. Hey, that's right. Or this gun was only fired once. Hey, it's true too. Which means that one of these 2 bullets was fired from a different gun. Killer have another gun prepared for tonight? Hey, notice something, sir. Yes? What's that thing sticking out from behind the frame? Ah, that. It's a secret safe. A secret safe? Oh, I smell money. I'll spare you the trouble and just say it. Nothing like what you're imagining is inside. Kindly move this frame out of the way. Roger that. Talk about dusty. It's supposed to happen when I'm not here to dust it once in a while. My idea was a safe room. Oh, I'd kept it clean for you, sir. When did you put this thing in? It wasn't something I had installed personally. Every prosecutor's office has one. Yeah, I had no idea. Well, only prosecutors are supposed to have knowledge of their existence. So what's inside, Mr. Edwards? Right now, nothing. We'll only use them to store important evidence when a trial is in session. That's it. Talk about squashing my hopes and dreams. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. This is odd. You found something, sir? This keypad. Don't you find it to be a bit too clean? Yes, there's a dust all around it, but not on the keypad itself. You there, the forensic scientist. Yes, sir. Could you please dust this area for fingerprints? You got it, sir. Couldn't find, let alone lift the single print. Looks like it was wiped down well. As I thought. That logic is the only way around this setback. And to rationally, calmly connect the dots here with the information we have. Cold, sir? Back. Alright, let's think. Figured out what the murderer was after. Oh, what is it, sir? The fact that the safe was wiped clean of fingerprints suggests that the criminal had at least attempted to open my safe, making the culprit's motive for breaking and entering theft, I believe. Knowing that motive behind this break-in was a theft changes what the other pieces of information you could tell me about this crime. This possibility that the files on the floor are not the result of a struggle between the victim and his killer. You mean like it could be from when the killer tried to find something, sir? Precisely. We need to figure out if any of the files have been stolen. Yes, sir. I'm gonna shelve files like you've never seen before, even in a library. Sure. Let's give that a try. Oh, the good ones die young. Surely you must ponder that every once in a while, Mr. Edgeworth. Can you investigate the mystery why my mom left me? Sorry, buddy. I'm afraid that it's a cold case that I can't help you with. Assuming that the dead will not come back to life. All we can do is search for the truth. And, so what are we supposed to do? How do we know about finding the truth? First, we calmly restore the files to their rightful place. You got it. Here, let me help. This file goes here, and that book goes there. Sure about a lot of where this stuff goes, despite it being Mr. Edward often. I'm the one who keeps it tidy, pal, okay? Done. Okay, the murder was definitely committed here. The bloodstains on the bookshelf are still fresh. I suspect the victim was killed in a standing position here, hence the prints on the shelf. And the guy fell on the floor, right? The blood on the floor is kind of grossing me out. Detective, I don't have the time to deal with your weak stomach right now. Oh, but you know I'm no good with blood, sir. Something's wrong with this picture. Yeah, how about the bullet hole right there? Watch yourself that there went through the victims, huh? We had lodged so squarely in a file spine. Indicates that the files were ransacked after the shooting had occurred. Guesses the victim was moved because he was in the killer's way. The victim was in a sitting position here after being shot. Oh, wants to see that the victim's pants has blood on it. That would be the logical conclusion. The victim's handprints. He was to try to support himself with his hand after being shot. What's on the floor, too. There must have been those men that were able to stay standing and have dropped to the floor. Yes, they should be, sir. Doesn't look like anything's missing. Though it does look like the killers moved the body to flip through my shelves.
Penis, 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 penis.
How dare you, Kava? Found what they were looking for. Body because it was leaning against the bookshelf. Blood on this guy's pants proves that pretty well. Sense, I suppose. See, I'm not completely useless, Mr. Edgeworth. Yeah, the gun. Eureka! This is clearly where the contradiction lies. I don't recall really seeing what's so wrong with that spot. Huh, you don't understand? See, therein lies the contradiction. Mr. Edgeworth, sir, it'd be nice if you would just admit that you were wrong. Alright, what do I have in my evidence? Alright, so it went through his abdomen, but he's sitting on the floor. Eureka! I might be dumb. Let's think. Eureka! With this bullet hole. Yep. I thought I was right. I was in the wrong the right area, just the wrong piece of evidence. Sir, you don't see? Quite simply, the bullet hole itself is too low. The victim was shot in the stomach. Those holes should be much higher. But what if the guy was shot while he was sitting or lying down? That'd be illogical. The victim leaned against a shelf here after being shot, which exactly he was standing when he was shot. But that means... Wait, what does that mean, sir? It means you need to use your brain every once in a while instead of mine, detective. In any case, it means someone made a faulty assumption, and it was from this mistake that our current contradiction was born. What's the assumption that caused this problem with the hole's position? Order of the files. Order of the files is a bit off. You mean I put them back in the wrong order just now? Hey, actually, I think the labels on the files are wrong, sir. Yeah, you see here how the files that were shot begin with the number 0? What are those doing all the way down there? Because after 1, 2, and 3. That's really weird. Actually, the way they are organized now is the correct order. They are exactly as I see them in my mind's eye. But the numbers are all out of order. Those white binders are special, so they are arranged a little differently. From this, we know the files were not in this order when the crime occurred. Ah, so that's it. The clerk made the same incorrect assumptions you did just now, detective. Let's rearrange the files in numerical order and see what we find out. I'm gonna prop the body back up how it was before it was moved. If they finished processing the crime scene, so I don't see why it wouldn't. If you please, Detective Gumshoe. As I suspected, the bullet hole is now where it should logically be. Claire went through my files before shooting Mr. Faith. And then put them back in numerical order, I guess. Exactly. And then proceeded to shoot the victim. Why would someone kill a man and then look through your files one more time? Puzzling indeed. The files are thrown into disarray twice. Once before and once after the crime. But why? Because that wasn't the time of the murder. Time to give it another look. How about the fact that Gumshoe's name is right here? This... What is that? Why does it say Gumshoe on there in blood? It's a pretty credible, incriminating evidence. Yeah, indicative of criminal activity indeed. No, wait, there's got to be some mistake. Mr. Edgeworth, sir, help me. Say something, sir. It appears that one of my files was stolen. Is that all, sir? What about me and my situation? Is this what the killer was really after? Jim's gonna leave his name as killer in the end. And his most important message managed to reach us. I'm telling you, it wasn't me. Can't be terribly pleased to hear that your beloved partner is guilty party. If you're going to accuse Detective Gumshoe of being the culprit, I sincerely hope you have some proof to back it up. Jim's words are more than enough, wouldn't you say? If that's how you'll want to play it, then at least allow me to understand your reasoning. You got it. I don't like this a bit. There's something strange about this man's attitude. And there must be some flaw to his logic. Why don't you for me to dig it out? Mr. Edgeworth, what are you gonna do? What I always do in court. I'm gonna cross-examine him. One way or another, I'll expose the flaw in his logic with that technique. Oh, how do you do that? Can you explain it to me, sir? Yeah, fuck it, might as well. And first, listen to witness's testimony. I find a flaw in the testimony, something that contradicts the evidence. I open my organizer with E and present a piece of contradictory evidence. To present something, I simply use T with that's old news. But it's not like there's going to be a flaw in their testimony every time, sir. Correct. At those times, I need to press the witness with Q. Sometimes by pressing, I can draw out new information and new or modified testimony. I think I get it, sir. I'll be sure to try this technique out during investigations, too. Very well. I'll even show you how it's done. Now watch carefully. Detective Gumshoe, you stole Jim's gun from him and shot him dead. Furthermore, you messed up the files to make it look like you had committed theft instead. That's when you moved Jim's body that was sitting in front of the bookshelf. But thanks to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters his body was hiding. It will be by his final words that you will be brought to justice. Argue that the victim's dying message points to his killer. You can hear Jim's voice. He's calling for his killer's arrest. Are you sure you're not mishearing his words, Mr. Portsman? There's no way Detective Gumshoe is the culprit here. I will find the flaw in this man's life and expose it with credible evidence.
Hold it!
You know, there's something I've been meaning to ask. What is it? Why do you call the victim Jim? When clearly his name is Buddy Faith. Isn't it obvious Jim is the perfect name for my companion? Jacques and Jim. Don't those two names go together like peanut butter and jelly? But Jim isn't even close to the guy's real name. Well, Jacques and Buddy just sound off somehow. Besides, he was the third of a bunch of guys that decided to nickname Jim. It's not the victim like he was his pet. I think we can make that instead.
Hold it!
I don't think it was necessary to dishevel my shelves twice to do that. That's true. Okay, then maybe his real intent was theft. Hey, are you accusing me of stealing something from Mr. Edgeworth? It's a possibility. Your salary's been cut so much that life isn't getting a little too rough for you to handle. Well, you know that I eat 3 square meals a day, every day, pal. Okay, so all 3 of them happen to be in rules, but poor thing. What an evil prosecutor you were paired up with. What a motive, no? With Jim's body that was sitting in front of the bookshelf.
Hold it!
And why would Detective Gumshoe do such a thing? Because the body was getting in his way. You had to mess up your books somehow, right?
Penis.
How dare you? I'm getting an investigation here. Anyway. You didn't notice the bloody letters he was hiding. Why do you think that the killer didn't notice the bloody letters? The body was covering it quite well, wouldn't you say? That's how he missed it. Judging by what I've seen, it doesn't take much for your detective to miss something. Hey, who do you think you are? You know nothing about me, pal. As a lot of people can understand about each other from first impressions alone. Can't say I disagree with him on that point. Why don't you say something, sir? Not you too, Mr. Edgeworth. Despite his lack of attention to detail, I don't believe the detective could be the culprit. Nobody could have overlooked the bloody letters, and I can prove it with evidence. As for a better setup, for the game finishing spike. Final words that you'll be brought to justice.
Hold it!
You're saying that those letters were intended for you. Yep, Jim was an outstanding detective and would expect nothing less from my former partner. Mr. Portsman still doesn't understand. There's a true meaning behind the bloody letters. He's waiting over. Can't you just admit my logic perfectly sound? Actually, there's a gigantic flaw in his logic. That's why even a good detective can spot it. I'll clue Mr. Portsman in by presenting him with some evidence. Alright, let's see.
Fancy pants, Rich McGee over here. Fuck you.
Objection!
Perhaps another way, Mr. Portsmouth. There's a serious flaw in your logic. Hey, bringing a bit of the courtroom into this, I see. No problem. I'm game. I can't help but find it odd. Excuse me? Not that a fellow prosecutor will be brought down by the power of his own office. What are you talking about? Oh, you're joking. I get it. The time to laugh, and you have the time to take another closer look at this. Do you still not see? If I may direct your attention to the missing file. That's impossible. What's impossible, Mr. Portsman? Nothing. The files on that shelf are all about a certain case. When the killer went to take the file after murdering your partner, I highly doubt they could have missed the bloody letters written on the spines.
Objection!
It's possible that they could have taken the file before committing the murder. I think it's pretty obvious that the file was stolen after it was written on. Missing letters in the detective's name, but the file should be his proof. Yeah, I mean, the S is gone. It's only half an H. Detective Gumshoe really was the culprit of this case. I highly doubt that even he could have overlooked his own name written on blood on the files. Especially as a detective who can't stand sight of blood. Which means, what exactly? What does that mean, this die-in message? Makes it the work of a criminal intent on tampering with the crime scene. Oh, we had an ad going on. So we'll relax here, chat. How you guys doing? How are my subs doing? We're gonna relax and let all the subs roll through. How are you subs doing? I hope you guys had a great holiday. I really do. Alright, just looking for some more monsters. Nice. Yep, like I said, I hope you guys had a great holiday. I hope the next one coming up is going to be even more fun. And break. Welcome back, everybody. We're gonna keep going now. Just wait, give it a second for everybody to come back. That's so low. I can't believe the criminal tried to pin this whole thing on me, sir. I'm gonna get him, sir. You'll see. I'm gonna have them under arrest in no time. Oh, Mr. Portsman. Brilliant. Absolutely splendid. Logic deserving of an Olympic gold. I appreciate the praise, but it doesn't change the fact that your reasoning is flawed. Yeah, you win some, you lose some. That's how life goes. But everyone's so cheery, even though I feel more dead than alive. But, you know, it really is a shame. I really didn't want to have to bring this up. However... What is it this time? You still after me, pal? Humor me for a second. Where's the key to this office? Be me. Mr. Edgeworth just proved that I'm innocent, pal. It's absolutely right, and I acknowledge your innocence. Then why do I sense that you still have something to say? I was just thinking. Did you know there is one other person with a key to this office? That person? Hey, you there. Yes, sir. What is it, sir? Kindly fetch and escort that lovely young lady up here for me. A lady? The girl is a member of this building's security. Think of her as a material witness. Security? Did you say security? No, stop it, pal. Don't. What's wrong with him all of a sudden? Oh, please don't tell me it's her. She needs no introduction. I have called upon Miss Maggie. Ah, God damn it. Maggie. Detective Gumshoe, sir? Maggie. This bird is the security guard on watch tonight. I see. And your point is? My point is that she could very well have used it. And by it, I mean the master key, which can open all the office doors in this building. What? You are not the guilty party, Detective Gumshoe. Then the only other person with access to this room is Miss Bird. How dare you? I would never sneak into someone's room. That's right, I refuse to believe that Maggie's the culprit, pal. It was me, that's right, I did it. Can we take that as a confession, Detective? Well, it really wasn't. It wasn't really me, but it definitely wasn't Maggie, pal. So yeah, it was me, if you'd like to have no problems with that, right? Please refrain from flying off the handle, Detective. There's no need for such theatrics. Dear boss detective, understands what I'm saying here. That girl is the only one who could have come into the crime, and for one simple reason. The other Miss Bird snuck into your office using the master key. I mean, if Detective Gumshoe isn't the one who opened the door, then at least only Miss Bird is our prime suspect. On top of which, she knows our good detective, doesn't she? Making it all the more probable that she was the one who faked the dying message. So you're saying that she used the master key. Incredibly incriminating evidence, wouldn't you say? That's what you claimed about the evidence earlier as well. That was then, this is now. The flow of a good match always changes during a rally. It's all about your reflexes and reaction time, especially for an athlete like me. If there's anyone else other than Miss Bird who could have used the master key. The only way to get Mr. Portsman to give more details is to press him. Well, let's get some information, shall we? Well, she shot me pretty good. Pretty obvious, Mr. Bird. Okay, so what? Sure, Miss Bird is the only member of security who could have used the master key. There's only one person on staff at this time of night. And tonight, she's it. Isn't that right, Miss Bird? That's true, but I wasn't able to use the master key at the time of the crime, sir. You'll deal what's that supposed to mean. Yes, moving on. I think it's sidetracked with something unrelated. What do you mean unrelated? I want to hear what she has to say, pal. You can't really trust her not to tell lies. I hate wasting time. Should I hear Miss Bird out? Yeah, I want to know why she's so... Not so fast. I too am interested to hear what Miss Bird has to say. Just say it'd be a waste of time. You don't need to hear lies. I'll be the judge of that, Miss Bird, if you please. So that the master key was missing at around 1 a.m., sir. What do you mean by missing? As in, it wasn't in the security booth, sir. The killer must have stolen it. Mr. Portsman, I believe that's an important piece of testimony, don't you? I can't believe someone like you would be taken in by such words. I'm not lying, sir.
Objection!
That's the case, then I'd like to know. You have the master key now. I don't quite know. It just reappeared all of a sudden, sir. Huh, likely story. Where's the proof that this key was stolen to begin with? You just forgot where you put it and then found it again. I never lose things, sir. I can practically guarantee that. With me, if something disappears, it's usually because someone stole it. Yeah, pal, trust me, you don't want to test just how bad her luck is. Truly, I can't deem this piece of testimony as conclusive. I do agree, Mr. Edgeworth. But, you still haven't established Maggie's motive for breaking into Mr. Edgeworth's office. Her motive? We already established that it was theft. I mean, the culprit clearly went through the bookshelves and at least tried the safe. It is as Mr. Wortsman says, Detective. I can't ignore the fact that all the evidence points towards the motive of theft. I'm not done taking blows. It's time to counterattack with a few facts of my own. I'd say thievery. Let's see, do I have anything I can present to go against that? Let's press here.
Hold it!
The culprit's motive appears to have been thievery. However, glad to hear that the great man Edgeworth is in agreement with me, little old me. However, with regard to the investigation of the bookshelves and save, hey, good thinking. Let's give my opinion on the matter. Would it be too much for you to allow me to complete a full sentence? There is no one to open the door. This bird is our prime suspect.
Hold it!
I think it's a bit early to jump to conclusions. You're saying there's another way to open the door than with the master key? I perhaps had a spare made for someone else. If you know, I have never made a spare, so what are you insinuating? I guess you should have known better than that to suggest someone like you would. Let's see.
Hold it!
Established Detective Gumshoe's innocence pretty thoroughly. It was just a theory, one hypothesis among many possibilities. You had my doubts all along about this bird from the very beginning. If that's the case, then why didn't you mention her from first? Now, don't make that face. See? Goes the truth, running the other way. Get the pace to see if we can't catch up to it. I don't think you're catching my drift. Ah, but we're in agreement. The detective isn't killer, right? So then I hope you understand when I say that since she's the only one who could have opened your office door. He's knowing Mr. Burr is our prime suspect.
Hold it!
You must have given me the bloody letters that spell out Gumshoe. The whoever wrote his name must have wanted to frame him, and just the act of choosing his name is proof enough that the two knew each other well. Stretchers, what are you saying? Waiting for her up and President Amendment. Okay. I haven't pressed him on the right thing yet.
Hold it!
Anyone in this district who hasn't at least heard of Detective Gumshoe? Good point. He's practically a celebrity amongst us prosecutors. Really? I never knew it was so talked about. No, it did not talked about, sir. We're holding our collective breath, you know, for when you screw up so badly that you're literally chased off the force. Wait, what? Is that true, Mr. Edgeworth? Of course not. That's hogwash. Don't scare me like that. I almost had a heart attack over there. See, this is the only way I can figure out. try this.
Objection!
No, that's wrong. Let's just repress it.
Hold it!
And then start. Only member of the security force could use the master key. And now it does down night to make she's it. And Miss Bird. Master key at the time because.
Objection!
Alright, so this is the right spot. This is the right way to present. We just have to figure out what way to present.
Objection!
There we go. Got it. There's the save. Do you wish to continue insisting Miss Bird was set on stealing something? Why not? It's the truth after all. It's by your logic that we came to the thievery conclusion anyway. Maybe, but you must also be aware of the fact that the safe is a secret safe. Existence of which is only privy to prosecutors. It's a little hard to believe that a hidden safe was a part of her cunning plan. But she could have found it by accident while she was turning everything else upside down. I highly doubt that. The culprit knew exactly what they were looking for. After all, only the bookshelf and safe were targeted. Yeah, even I didn't know about that safe, pal. And that means there's no way Maggie could have known about it either. Then are you proposing that the killer is a prosecutor? Interesting conclusion. It's definitely looking more and more probable. What's wrong, prosecutor? Do you have a difference I expect in mind now? Curses, why? What made you... What's with the angry face all of a sudden? It's all my fault. What do you mean? It's Jim. He knew about the existence of the secret safes. What did you just say? We're partners, like inseparable conjoined twins. That's why I told him. Put them in on the secret safes. That means... Yeah, I know. I only just told him too. Obviously it was wrong to me to tell him. I still can't quite believe it. The thief who broke into your room was probably Jim. So the victim was the thief. And you were simply trying to stop him, weren't you? Miss Maggie Bird, excuse me? You are a security guard, aren't you? That's your job. But killing isn't going a bit too far, even in your risky profession. You're still accusing Maggie of the murder? Yes and no. If she had stumbled upon Jim, would probably drawn his gun. I get it. It was self-defense, wasn't it? No, I couldn't. I could never do something like that. Not even as a security guard, sir. Plus, even if it was a thief, he wouldn't have had a key to this office. This is precisely why he had to steal it. Interesting. Jim had stolen the master key. Huh. Pretty impossible for the supposedly stolen key to be here with us unless you retrieved it from Jim after you killed him. Mr. Portsman, are you honestly accusing your old partner of being a thief? I don't want to admit it. It's the only way for everything else to make sense. He has no honor. I think we're done here. Investigation waits for no man. Could people be so kind as to see yourselves out? Get guys out. This is Mr. Edgeworth's office. But I'm the one who's been assigned to this case. We're all suspects to varying degrees and therefore ineligible to run this show. Listen, pal. I just have to say this. Maggie can't be the culprit. Detective Gumshoe, calm yourself. But sir, you have no choice but to accommodate this request for now. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. At least one of you who understands. If you could remove yourselves from my crime scene, I'd be most grateful. Mark my words, Mr. Portsman. We will meet again. The formal request from the legendary prosecutor himself, then I suppose so. No, don't disappoint me here. Yeah, we'll save. Wait, hold on. Save slot 3, baby. Let's go. That prosecutor, I can't believe how rude he was. Unbelievable. He's maintaining your professionalism, detective. Provide some solid evidence for Maggie's innocence. You'll see, sir. We've been kicked out of the crime scene, sir. True. So then what now? My life's falling into yet another gigantic ditch. Do not despair, Miss Bird. We can overcome this as well. There are many other places and things we should be looking into anyway. Really, sir? For example, this hallway. The linchpin of his argument was that Miss Bird is related to the Master Key. In that case, this hallway is the perfect place to look for more information. Regarding the mystery surrounding my door, I mean, look right there. Persons have inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. It's... isn't that the missing O-series file, sir? No doubt about it. The letters mark it here, clear as day. Seems to be a few pages missing. One was necessary and left the rest behind. These 0 files about, sir. I guess they got something worth stealing in them, huh? Particularly, just a collection of our court case files. However, those within these files are not mine. They belong to the High Prosecutor that used to occupy my current office. I have my reasons, but let's just say I was charged with keeping them as they were. And that means the thief must have also wanted the file for a specific reason, right? It would seem so. One of the pages related to that case from 10 years ago are missing. Wonder why anyone would care about such an old case. So there's this. Talk about luxury waiting. They're also great for napping, you know. Even out here, detective, in the hallway. Whenever I do, I always wind up dreaming about giving testimony up on the stand. I always end up in the same way, me getting trounced by a lawyer. Isn't that awful? Should give it a try sometime to envision myself winning naturally. What's the basketball doing here? That's one of Mr. Portsman's pride positions. I already play soccer, dodgeball, and even tennis. And not a single one of those sports is suitable to being played in the hallway. Looks like you're quite the pinch, Mr. Edgeworth. To be sure, a murder within the walls of the prosecutor's office is no trifling matter. Let's find, apprehend, and punish the killer, according to the post haste. Sounds like a messy case you've got on your hands. If you ever feel lost or need some advice, my door is always open. Oh, gracious, I will keep your offer in mind. Who is this guy again? I may speak with you a bit for the concerning this issue. I've always been a big fan of the courtroom for this. It's like a dream where I'm being crossed the by D miles upward. Captain has a chance bad goodbye. I must remember to ask her about the Master Key. I'll remember by showing my notes to her too. I discovered the Master Key was missing. I hadn't realized it was around 1 a.m., sir. I noticed it was back around 2:30. You're sitting on the ledge where the security room's reception window is. But I'm sure it was about between those two times was not gone but stolen, sir. It's such an important key, such a sword, such an insecure place. Ah, I like that, sir. We always keep the key further inside the room, away from the window. Always, you say? Except for this time, correct? I admit I was a bit careless, but I had my reasons. I left it up because I was sort of using it at the time. It was after I had used it that I left it sitting on the window ledge. Choose the Master Key. What did you mean by use the Master Key? I had to use it to open the door for this prosecutor who had forgotten his key. It's my job as security guard, right? Ah! What is it? That's right, I just remembered. The prosecutor who forgot his key. It was Mr. Portsman, sir. What? Please tell me more, Miss Bird, quickly. Around 12 a.m., Mr. Portsman had forgotten his office key, so he came down to security, sir. That's when you loaned the Master Key to him. No way, it's against regulations to loan the Master Key out to anyone. I walked up with Mr. Portsman to his office to open the door for him personally, sir. I see. And then what happened after that? Well, he called for me to come close up his office as he was leaving to go home. That's around 1:30 a.m., I think, sir. So in summary, for the sake of one forgetful prosecutor, you used the master key twice tonight. Talk about suspicious. Now you can say that you've never left your keys at home, detective. This calls for a thorough examination of Mr. Portsmouth's door. This is every suspicious nook and cranny. It's not tight. I think our old credit card trick wouldn't work here, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? He's obviously a high prosecutor detective. These doors can be pretty ineffective as the average cat burglar. We'll get through them. Like the only great cat burglar can get in. That must be your corporate is. That reminds you of to turn to the conclusion to whatever pawn shop you bought it from. What's wrong with it? I think this is Mr. Portsman's office. Yeah, you can't mistake it because of that basketball hoop, sir. Reminds me, Mr. Portsman actually had wanted room 2002 really badly. So you already occupied, Mr. Ashford. We put him next door to it. So why was Mr. Portsman so particular about getting in room 202? Not sure. I bet it's because something like his birthday is December 2nd. Yep, that's gotta be it. I can't think of another reason why. I can think of at least 3. Ugh, I'm not even wasting my time thinking about this. This Cassie door made of top quality wood. Kind of majestic too. It's really well with the ambience of the prosecutor's offices. The Portsmouth seems to be dignified just because he works with some of those seats. Nonsense. A man who doesn't become more or less dignified because of where he works. He still seems more dignified than Mr. Payne. Custodial work can also be dignified. Sports with personal basketball. I can't believe doing something like this in the hallway after a prosecutor's office. No, it's actually pretty useful, sir. I haven't gotten lost trying to find your office since it's been here. How long have I had the same office? That you still managed to get lost? Let's see. Yeah, I think these two are connected. Spirit, I'm afraid there's a flaw in your story. What? No way, pal. I mean, sir. You locked up Mr. Poison's office around 1:30 a.m., correct? However, the master key you had already been stolen at that time. Well, I think it's by you, Mr. Edgeworth. You saw a constitution like a bro. I totally forgot about that, but thanks to you, I remember it now. Yes, around that very time I realized the master key was missing. And, well, I'm a security guard, sir. Couldn't just admit losing the master key, could I? So I pretended to lock up his room, sir. You pretended? Yes, I used my house key, sir. I made it look like I was locking up. So in actuality, you never did relock the door then. Well, I thought maybe I could go lock it after I found the key. And I guess the door still hasn't been locked properly. Now the only ones. If what Miss Bird said is true, then why is this door locked tight? Miss Bird, are you sure you didn't relock this door? I am certain of it, sir. And I don't think Mr. Portsman noticed it himself. I hadn't. Which means what, sir? That means that he actually does have the key to his office. Or that the door Miss Bird opened wasn't this one at all, but a completely different one. What, a different door? But how can you prove that? There's an easy way to find out. All we need to do is examine these. Fingerprints on the master key. I accidentally clicked that. Prints on the doorknob. Madrid nostril flaring detective. Sir, I found only Mr. Portsman's and Mr. Faith's prints on the doorknob. Two people's prints were found on this tongue. That's pretty decisive. I'm lost here, sir. Thinking logically, a certain other person's print should be on this doorknob as well. Whose print should also be on this doorknob? Oh, Maggie's.
Take that!
Did you find out that the prints of the person who unlocked this door are absent? You mean, yes, the door that Miss Bird opened could not have been this one, but a different one. What have we here? This looks like a scrap of paper. I'll get it, sir. Let's see. Oh, there's something written on it. I brought the 3 pieces of evidence by, just like we talked about on the phone. But it looks like you're out. Guess I'll catch up to you later, buddy. Mr. Portsman. Oh, property of Mr. Portsman? Yes, sir. He's always been ready for a match. Basketball, soccer, dodgeball, tennis. Doesn't matter what sport it is, he's the game. Although I think it'd be a little hard to play with tennis with this ball, with tennis ball too. Focus on him. You're right, sir. Now I know what I should be focusing on. Bet, Mr. Portsman, so much to teach me a lesson. But look at the over here. Basketball hoop's been moved. You're looking at it, sir. Oh, hey, how about a bet? Out a game. It's okay, detective. I just found that the position of this hoop to be a little off. Hey, you're right, sir. Because it shifted when someone made a seriously sweet slam dunk. The position of this hoop is definitely unnatural. Note this. According to the guard, no signs the lock was picked either, sir. Meaning that the door really was open with a key. Ask if any prints were lifted from this doorknob. Apparently, the doorknob's been clean as a whistle. Wiped, they think. The thief has did a good job of not leaving any clues behind. This hallway has actually paid off quite handsomely. Oh, so, sir. In a variety of different ways. I think it's time we had a little chat. With the real culprit of this case. You know who the killer is? Well, Mr. Edgeworth. As long as my logic is sound, then yes. The master behind this murder is none other than Mr. Portsman. What? Mr. Portsman? I know it. That's exactly what my logic sensors were telling me, too. I suspected it was him from the instant he accused Maggie of being the killer, sir. Is anything but logical? Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourselves. Come with me. It's time to knock on Truth's door. Mr. Portsman, I finished processing the bloody letter, sir. Alright, let me take a gander at it. Pass it here. Hey, looking good. You there. Take good care of this. Ooh, ah. Oh, if it isn't Detective Gumshoe. Out of the line for you, Portsman. We've got you now. Go off your dog, Mr. Edgeworth. Some kind of joke? It's no joke. We know Mr. Jock Sportsman. You were... Yeah, Jock Sportsman, by the way. But you are the guilty party in this case. You must be pretty upset getting chased out of your own room. I'd be mad too. So I guess you could say, if you promise to stay out of the way, you would tend to hide your crime under the guise of a prosecutor doing his job. I can see right through your unsightly paper-thin mask you wear upon your cowl. Who'd ever thought it would come to this? Actually, come to think of it, your mentor was Manfred von Karmer, right? A prosecutor who never lost a single case for 40 long years. There was always this insensate chatter about forged evidence of that guy. Just you've got to stay on the lookout for false accusations, you know. You're not trying to play mind games with me because they won't work. The only thing you should be using that mouth of yours is now to explain yourself. Although that too will only dig your hole deeper. Either way, your game's up. Well, we're full of ourselves. Even though you have yet to prove anything. I have no idea what sort of harebrained idea you have in mind, but there's a mountain of evidence that points away from me being the culprit. Besides, I may ask, do you propose I unlocked your door and got in here? Look, I feel bad doing this to you, but I've got work to do, so we're done here. Sorry, we're not finished yet. Boy, you're stubborn. I suppose you're basing your accusations on something. Show you what I'm basing my accusation on. With evidence. And it's the third one. We present here. With the master key.
Objection!
I believe you were able to open my office door with the master key.
Objection!
Hey, hold on for a sec. I never laid a finger on that key as long as you already know. Precisely. You were able to open my door without lifting a single finger. Well, maybe you did, but only to direct. That's right, you used your finger to direct this person to open my door with the key.
Take that!
You had asked Miss Bird to open your own office door for you, yes? Yeah, I kind of forgot my key at home. Happens a bit too often for my taste, you know? But the room you had Miss Bird open at that time was not your own, was it? What? You've quite the imagination. Why don't we ask the girl herself whose door she unopened, shall we? I'm certain that it was Mr. Portsman's door, sir. I checked the number plate to make sure I was opening the right door, sir. See, Miss Bird backs up my story. Yeah, what if you misled her to fool her into thinking what you wanted? How do you suppose I did that? By switching the number plates on our doors, for example. That's right, they do slide out pretty easily. Furthermore, you then used one other thing to give a very strong impression that the door she was opening was yours, and not, in fact, mine. So Miss Portman used to make Mr. Bird to use this room. The basketball hoop.
Take that!
What? The basketball hoop, sir? It's quite a peculiar fixture in any hallway in this building, which is why it left us an unnaturally strong impression on you. It's an object perfectly suited to sit just outside the office of a peculiar prosecutor. It's very true, sir. Because there was a basketball hoop sitting there, I thought the door I was opening had to be Mr. Portsman's. There are signs that the hoop has been moved. Sit in front of my office to be sure. I see, so that's how you throw suspicion on people. Thanks for the tip. I think your conjecture is a bit off the racetrack. Now you're just spouting nonsense. I had the girl open my office door. After that, it was in my room. I was in my room the entire time. You don't have a single reason to suspect me. Okay, well we have already know it. I know where this one's going. I did show you who the one really truly is covered in slime here. E. Press it.
Objection!
That was a lie. What are you talking about? How is that a lie? This is a note that the victim left for you, Mr. Portsman. A note? It was left under your door. Or did you not notice? And right here it says, but you're out. You were not in your room when the victim came to call on you. So then, where were you, and what were you doing? So I explained in full detail for you. You were busy snooping around in my room, the very room you had Miss Bird open for you. That's just nonsense. You have no evidence that I made the girl open your door for you. Oh, but I do. I have very decisive evidence. Did Miss Bird open the door for you?
Take that!
The door had no did not have it. I had your door dusted for prints. My door? Ha! Before. I bet you didn't find anything. Sure, I could have wasting time. You're right, I didn't find anything. And definitely not Miss Bird's fingerprints. Her prints, what do they have to do with anything? Let's put it this way. She really was the one who opened your door. Their print should naturally be on the doorknob she touched. Further, all the prints on my office doorknobs have been wiped clean off. You only assume it's because Miss Bird's fingerprints were on it. Do you think it's time you gave up your charade? We know you stole into my office with the intent of stealing something from me. Detective Faith found you out, possibly because he heard sounds coming from a room whose occupant was on leave. Once you killed Mr. Faith, silence him. And then I had the misfortune to return when I did. You had to threaten me as your escape. He said, when you had the gun to my back, no one gets away with committing murder in my office. And here comes the creepy laughter. What's so funny, pal? Well, with that stiff seriousness on the face of this office Brian's prosecutor, as he makes a huge mistake in accusing me is simply too much to bear. There's nothing else like it in the world. What? Mr. Edgeworth just explained it all and he even backed it up. You're the murderer. Stop trying to be slippery and just admit to the crime. And as I said earlier, it's all so circumstantial, so full of conjecture. So you checked my doorknob for prints? I can readily confess that I had wiped that knob down as well. A little obsessive compulsive, you see. I didn't want to touch a doorknob that you had touched. Which is why I wiped the doorknob down as soon as I could after you opened the door. That makes perfect sense. The only Jim's and my own prints were beyond there. You made that up now, didn't you? Furthermore, as the note Jim left for me, do you know exactly when that was? For all we know, you could have left it there before I arrived at the office. Like early evening, for example. You're saying you failed to notice a note in your doorway? Even geniuses fail at times. I probably should stop. Alright, we're gonna give it a second here. And realizing we were in the middle of a ad break. My apologies to, and I apologize to the subs. And then on subs when we get back. To apologize to non-subs that we moved a little bit too far. We moved a little forward. Take a drink real quick, I guess. And break is finishing. Welcome back, everybody. Moved a little far forward. Sorry about that, subs or non-subs. Let's continue. Now that's just flat out lying. There's no way you didn't notice that. Note that size. You can't prove that, can you? Say something, Mr. Edgeworth. Back me up here, sir. Reports make a good point. I can't prove that he didn't simply overlook it. Besides, I have an airtight alibi. Airtight, you say? I just realized I had one when we were talking. I guess it would have been better for all of us if I had told you sooner. Alright, sir, you came back to the house around 2 a.m., correct? It was then that you had the unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the culprit. At exactly that time, I was down in criminal affairs. Nice ground. Sure, the other detectives would celebrate my story. Perfect alibi. Do you really think it's perfect? It's that perfect? Is it? I don't care. Ask around all you like. You'll see for yourself. Take the gumshoe. Sorry, yes, sir. I'll go check out his alibi, sir. Be right back. Mr. Edgeworth, I think we're in trouble. It's just like Mr. Portsmouth said. The guys downstairs from criminal affairs said they saw him around 2 a.m. You see? Evidence points to him being the culprit. So there must be a contradictory point in his alibi somewhere. You just gotta find it. Time to press. Okay, this was around 2 a.m., correct? Just then you had an unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the culprit.
Hold it!
This is to say, however, you were the only one who claims to have bumped into the culprit. So tell me, did you see the person's face? Was it me who you saw? It was pitch black, so I couldn't actually see.
Objection!
Oh no, I'm sure you saw something. Try a little harder, why don't you? And I feel like I'm the one being interrogated here. Oh, it doesn't matter if you remember or not. What matters that you ran into the culprit? Exactly that time I was down in criminal affairs.
Hold it!
Paid the criminal affairs department a visit. Yep, right after I left the prosecutor's building, I headed straight for the precinct. Ask around the other detectives who corroborate my story. It's the perfect alibi.
Hold it!
I would go asking for your testimony. It was just as I said, right? Yes, sir. Whatever detective said that they saw you at around that time. So I had the perfect alibi. It's the area east I had up my sleeve. But I know there's a hole in it somewhere. You just press him a little and see what comes with.
Hold it!
No, correct. It was around 2 a.m. Are you sure. It's really important to me to get spot on with time. Checking my watch then and make no mistake, it was 2. Oh, give me testimony like a pro. Okay, so you came back to your office at 2. Actually does have the perfect alibi. What's wrong? Why the sudden sullen look on your face? Hold on, I need to check something. I think we've reached the end of this line, and it's going to get off this crazy train. You're there. Sir, please escort the young lady out. Remember, be gentle. It's Maggie, Detective Gumshoe. Is there nothing I can do? Must be a way to turn this situation around. Did I miss something that can help me cast doubt on this alibi? Calmly think this through one more time, and with logic. Alright, let's see. Two bullets after the scene of the crime. One that robbed Mr. Faith of his life, and one that nearly robbed me of my jacket. The murder weapon only shows signs of being fired once, meaning it is entirely possible that a second gun was used in my office tonight. But seeing as how the killer had to steal Mr. Faith's gun, I doubt the killer had another gun up their sleeve. Therefore, the second gun could have been a property of an entirely different person, which could mean that there was another person who paid a visit to my office tonight. I said another visitor tonight. That would also resolve the issue of why my shelves were upended twice. Now the shelves were disturbed once before and once after the murder, so it shouldn't be much of a stretch to think that it was the work of 2 different people. Once by the person who stole the victim's gun and then killed him with it, and once again after the murder by our second culprit, who was the owner of the second gun. The second culprit's gun was the one that was pointed at my back.
Objection!
Mr. Portsman, seems that I need to amend my assumptions regarding this case. Great, so you finally come to your senses. Mr. Edgeworth. Sir, what are you saying? This has been a big misunderstanding on my part from the start. I had assumed that this person I ran into was the killer, but that may not be the case. What do you mean? The person I ran into was just your average thief. A thief? But, sir, doesn't that cause some sort of contradiction in the facts? I don't know. It means that the killer was someone else. And it means that actually 2 culprits stole into my office tonight. What do you mean, 2? See now why my shelves were disturbed twice and why there were 2 guns. Mr. Portsman tricked Maggie Bird into gaining entry to my office. Now you're just leading this argument. You still don't have any actual proof, you know. Can you please go along with my hypothetical scenario for now, Mr. Portsman? And then, if you really are innocent, you should have nothing to worry about. Now then, returning to my scenario, Mr. Portsman was the one out to steal something from me, which is why he checked my secret safe and ransacked my shelves. This is the first time. So then, doing the files were put back in the wrong order, right? Correct. And then, just as he was about to look somewhere else, who should walk in but his own partner, Mr. Faith? Why did Mr. Faith come into your room, sir? He probably had business with Mr. Portsman, which is why he was in the area. But that's when he noticed sounds coming from my office, would be my guess. Oh, because they were supposed to be away, right? And he must have thought it was odd, so he came into his office to check it out. Correct. And as the detective, he thought that was the right thing to do. When he came in, he found his own partner standing there. Because if it was Mr. Portsman, Mr. Faith probably let his guard down. Mr. Portsman was not so merciful as to let him leave alive. They first chance and stole Mr. Faith's gun from him, and then he killed him. He silenced Mr. Faith for catching him in the act of stealing. This was the moment in which the first shot was fired, the one that landed in my files. Following that, Mr. Portsman wiped the gun down and left it behind as he made his exit. He could afford to do that because he had also left the fake dying message behind. You're such a complicated troublemaker, you know that? Well, if things were as simple as that, then all would be solved. However, there was yet another visitor to my room, and this is where it gets complicated. So another visitor, sir? Yes, and that other person's objective was also to steal something from me. Now then, even after Mr. Portsman left, the door to my office remained unlocked. However, this new visitor had no way of knowing that, and so they stole the master key from the security guard's room, and then entered my room and searched through my shelves. This was the second time they were disturbed, and it seems the thief found their prize. The stolen zero file, right, sir? Correct. Only just as the thief was about to leave with my file, I appeared. They threatened me with their own gun and made their escape. The second bullet was fired during that brief encounter. So the shelves got getting messed up twice, and the two bullets. It's all because two different people were doing those things at two different times. Precisely. So now do you see, Mr. Portsman? The person that I met was just a thief, and was not, in fact, a Mr. Fate's killer. Your alibi for the time frame in which I ran into the other person is now irrelevant. Because we now know the murder took place during the first culprit's visit. And there's laughter. So funny, pal. Absolutely splendid. Your scenario explains everything. Of course it does. Mr. Edgeworth, after all. But you know, it still doesn't change the fact that it's all circumstantial. Supposing if, and that's a big if, your theory is it would indeed render my alibi, which is with some scrutiny in my idea, irrelevant. But there is still one defining point of your argument for which you have no evidence. Your supposition that I was the first visitor. You can't let him get away with that, sir. But he has a point. I have absolutely no proof at this point. Don't say that, sir. I don't believe this. Alright, Maggie, I'll do something else if I must. Do you know something? I find your attitude to be somewhat peculiar, Mr. Edgeworth. The person you met really was just a plain old thief. Why is that person not your main suspect? That is, if your theory is correct. And you should be your real suspect, wouldn't you say? You should be out there looking for that thief right now. They might still be nearby. I hate to repeat myself, but as I've already said, I was training in my room. And when Jim came to deliver some evidence to me, I was down in criminal affairs. So I can't be expected to know what happened after I left. There it is. You said in discussions. I think it's dead ended. I find your alibi to be fascinating. Let's continue where we left off, shall we? I know he's lying. I knew he was here at the scene of the crime. I have to find a way to prove it. It's going to be, I think, the third or fourth. And here we present the body, which was found at 2 a.m.
Objection!
Oh, nope, that's wrong.
Hold it!
And then with Mr. Face. That's because he said he was tired and was going to take a quick nap. So was in the hallway. Likes to sleep on those. It's one of his habits. One of those he brought. And there were things related to yesterday's case. Just 2 items. A gun and a pendant. Testimony seems too short. Let's slip through. Cracks. A gun and a pendant that are related to yesterday's case.
Hold it!
Gun and a pendant? Yep. Yes, this gun, which was the murder weapon, and this pendant, which belonged to the victim. Why were you taking them to criminal affairs? There was something in a past case file I wanted to compare these two to. But all has nothing to do with this case right now. Anyway, I believe you'll find the long paper trail I left to be your satisfaction. Detective, don't you find out?
Hold it!
Can't expect you to know, can I? Nope. But I guess you can expect me to take a guess based on logical deductions. And let's see your deduce. Jim waited for me to leave and stole the master key. The first is sneaking into your room, of course. That's when Miss Bird caught him red-handed, and the murder occurred. All exactly as I laid out earlier. I know he was here at the scene of the crime. So to find a way to prove it. So, let's see. This is where I got him.
Objection!
Nope, that's correct. That's incorrect. So
Hold it!
no, hold on. I thought we already cleared that up. Jim left that note for me in the early evening. I proof that he left it at a different time, say just before he was murdered. And no. You see, I insisted on that I was in my house the entire time.
Hold it!
Leave it linger nearby. Well, then you never know. Maybe they didn't get out. They were really after. Well, you talk like you know quite a bit about this thief. It's nothing like that. I have no idea anything about anything, after all.
Hold it!
Here, I want to reread this. This gun, which is the murder weapon, and this pendant, which belonged to the victim. Taking them to critical others.
Hold it!
There's our press everything. Maybe it unlocks something else. Why not? It's elementary. Dying message, of course. Frankly, left those letters on the spines of those files. It was after they were on there that the thief stole one of them. In 0 files, right? And that's how we also know the letters themselves are set up and not from Mr. Faith. If the thief was the killer, do you think they would try to undermine themselves? Maybe the custodian just didn't think of that either. Yeah, that must be it. Maybe, just maybe.
Hold it!
Alright. So I said I have everything I can get out of my thing.
Hold it!
See if I wonder if it's the safe. See, here's the thing I'm thinking. Like, this is the part that gets me. Like, am I missing something about this? That's it right there. This one right here.
Objection!
Only 2 pieces? I believe the proper phrase here is, you fail. Excuse me? You fail as a prosecutor, Mr. Portsman. I see you intend to keep evidence hidden from me. No, I haven't hidden anything from you. It's a piece I think you should read carefully. Since the Mr. Faith was bringing 3 pieces of evidence. Yes, and this is the victim's real dying message to you, Mr. Portsman. Can't believe I got tricked up by simple arithmetic. Where is the missing piece of evidence? It's... You have it, don't you? Only the guilty who makes such a face. Oh, shoot. You don't say it, sir. I'll pat the guy out from head to toe. But don't look any closer, I'm warning you. It's all part of the investigation, pal. So don't even think about stopping me. No! Alright, what's this? Yeah, it's had this on him, sir. So what you said, it would appear that you do have something to hide. Why do you hide something like that? There's only one reason why anyone would hide evidence of this caliber. It would be unequivocally point to that person himself as the real killer. Let's examine this videotape in a little more detail for the section of the tape that will drive the last nail into his coffin. KG8 incidents. That's a police case number, sir. Does that mean this video is evidence from that case? Interesting. However, what's recorded on this isn't what's important right now. Casing a thorough once-over. Well, well, well. That's blood, isn't it? Yes, and I believe this was what the good prosecutor was trying to hide from us. This blood is still fresh. And this might be Detective Faith's blood. No, you got it all wrong. And the amount of denial to me. Yeah, but simply run a blood test to find the truth. You told us the hood received evidence from the victim earlier. Now you will tell us when and how did the victim's blood find its way into this video? Yeah, it's totally suspicious. Was it the moment of his death? Did Detective Faith have this videotape on his personage when you killed him? You know very well there's no way to prove that. Not even if we were to examine this tape for fingerprints. If I had to take a guess, I'd say that the only ones on here belong to the murderers, you, and Mr. Faith. Possible, Mr. Portsman is placed under arrest for the murder of Detective Buddy Faith, sir. Very good. And the result we got back from the lab techs on the cake turned out to be real solid, sir. Blood work came back and it was definitely Mr. Faith's blood on there. As a bonus, they were able to look a few of Mr. Faith's fingerprints as well. Thank you very much, sir, Mr. Edgeworth. I can't believe I got to see your cool deduction skills outside the courtroom. I'm impressed beyond words, sir. It's nothing. I'm just sorry you got caught up in a murder in my office. Please accept my apologies. It was nothing, really, compared to what I've been through, I mean. I consider myself lucky that it was only a burglary and not murder this time, sir. If it had been a hold-up or a hostage situation, I'd have been thrown up in my hands up in the air. You're finally rising up from a goddess of misfortune to just an unlucky person. You should have hired a different person for security detail. So, sir, Mr. Portsman really was one corrupt prosecutor. Why would you say he was corrupt? I heard there were a number of suspicious things related to his court cases. There's even rumors about some of the evidence he uses is forged, sir. Forged evidence, huh? I say even decided not to prosecute a few cases for some really vague reasons. The guy's a complete disgrace to the entire profession. I never did get around to asking what his reason for breaking into my office. Yeah, whatever he got near that topic, he just clammed up. Though we can be pretty certain it was to steal something. It's between you and me, sir, but there's a rumor that some of the huge organizations behind the scenes. No? Well, Mr. Portsman not willing to divulge anything, it would certainly be credence to that rumor. Seeing that we haven't heard the last of this. Mr. Portsman isn't the bad guy. I didn't say that. Rather that there are still many more mysteries for us to solve. We still haven't figured out the significance of this piece of evidence.
Take that!
Well, this file. The other villain of the night. Yeah, I wonder who it was. What happened to the stolen pages? I wonder, who in the world was that held me up at gunpoint? Treasurer, sir, yes. I came across this while I was processing your office earlier, sir. This card. What is it, sir? Is that a bird or something on there? Not just any bird. It's the mark of the raven. A three-legged raven. Even you should know what this is, Detective. What's about that thing, isn't it? That great thief everyone's talking about. Yes, it's the mark of the great thief, Yatagarasu. Mark of the legendary bird, the Yatagarasu is noble to the end. A modern Robin Hood. The mysterious and phantom-like, the Yatagarasu appears and vanishes at will. We do not know much about this thief's ultimate goal. We do know the targets. Yatagarasu likes to find and make public evidence of corrupt dealings of all sorts. Theft is always performed in silence and always with perfection. Once a target attention, no dramatic calling card or announcement is sent forth. So the chosen corporation is infiltrated without even the target noticing. Some days later, the evidence that was found is sent out to the mass media. Along with this single card. But it has been a while since the Yatagarasu's last appearance. Hey, Mr. Edwards, look, something's written on the back. What? Let me see. It's the location of where the thief put the stolen files. The stolen contents of the file was at Yatagarasu. Yatagarasu organization. Quite a few key words are popping up in this mystery. Murder in my office. Return of the great thief, Yatagarasu. Back. Can't say I didn't see these evidence coming. For they were heralded by the incidents that occurred 2 days ago. The end of chapter 1. We did it. First chapter down. A few mistakes here and there, but that's to be expected with someone like me. Save latency. Turnabout Airlines. Let's see what we got here. My office. Return of the great thief, Yatagarasu. Everything began on that fateful day 2 days ago. High up in the air, 9,000 feet in the air to be precise. Thank you for flying Go You Airlines. Currently experiencing some slight turbulence. We're asking all passengers to please return to their seats and fasten their seatbelts. I think I just woke up from a horrible nightmare. Switching, huh? It'll go over about 10 minutes. Slight turbulence indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, we are currently experiencing some slight turbulence. For your safety, we ask that you return to your seats and fasten your seatbelts. Most turbulence is to be expected on a flight. Admittedly, I'm less than comfortable with anything resembling earthquakes. What's this? A travel wallet, but it's not mine. Someone else's travel wallet wound up in my pocket. Ugh, my head. I don't want this headache. Go away. Take care of this travel wallet later. I hand it out to an attendant. Ugh. Earthquake-like turbulence to an elevator? Why am I hesitating like this? Actually, I know full well why I hesitate. Just when I was still young, but I was still but a young child. It's got a murder that happened in an elevator. How long am I going to let my past haunt me? It's just an elevator. A grown man now. I need to behave like one. What in the world happened? Is something wrong, sir? I'm asked to ask that you please return to your seat. Eek! He's dead? Please calm down. We mustn't jump to conclusions without all the facts. What's wrong? Did something happen? You murderer! No, you have it all wrong. It wasn't me. Everyone, I am sorry to interrupt, but I have an important announcement. I am one of your flight attendants today, Rhoda Nero. Fortunately, we have just had a minor accident on this flight. Don't you think we're stupid? I caught a glimpse of what it was. It was murder. What murder? What's going on with this flight? Everyone, please calm down. There is no reason to panic. This flight will stay on course and make its scheduled landing. We are still currently in the middle of a rough patch of turbulence. Until we are out of this turbulence, I ask that you please remain safe. Someone was killed, right? I mean, what about the killer? Let me off! Please, there is no need to feel threatened. We have already apprehended the criminal, the culprit. I ask that everyone please remain calm. What the heck is he talking about? Why should we remain calm? My name is Miles Edgeworth. I'm a prosecutor, and I assure you I am not the killer. Being a prosecutor doesn't make you incapable of murder, buddy. You listen here. I am not the killer. I simply found the body. So you say, however, I am sure that you are the perpetrator of this crime. I swear on my honor as a professional flight attendant. Oh, is that right? I know what I saw. And there's even very strong incriminating evidence to back me up. What kind of incriminating evidence is she talking about? But I alerted the proper authorities at our destination. Till we land, you will remain in our custody by the powers vested in our captain. I'm very sorry, but please understand our situation. I'm more concerned with mine and the direction it's going in. I'm not about to just idly buy what I accuse of murder. Miss Tenero, was it? Yes. I was wondering if you might give me a chance. A chance to do what? A chance to plead my case. And a chance for me to ask you what you meant by incriminating evidence just now. To accuse a passenger of such a grave crime without a line to give a proper defense? Can the professional flight attendant inside you really call this operation righteous? You have a point. Very well. I'll listen to what you have to say. Be wary of what you really know. I'm afraid you'll only look even more suspicious if your explanation fails to satisfy. I also do not have the time to deal with you all day, so please make it quick. Of course, as you wish. Good. Very well then. Let's get started. I know for a fact that I didn't kill that man in the elevator. What I don't know is what sort of evidence she has up her sleeve. But I'm certain it doesn't fit with how the crime really occurred. I swear to tell the whole truth as a professional flight attendant. Unfortunately for you, Mr. Edgeworth, I am certain you are the killer. The scene I saw in front of the elevator, it was you standing there with fresh blood dripping off of the murder weapon. So please cooperate. We'll have you turn you over as soon as you land. That's her evidence. I don't think you could ask for a more perfect witness testimony. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Edgeworth? Not really. It's hardly perfect when there's a gaping hole in it. Alright, what do I have in my repertoire at the moment? I have the wallet. I have this. And I have the Sky magazine. Which doesn't really help me at all. I was holding this.
Objection!
Miss Tenero. What's with all yelling all of a sudden? Ugh, force of habit. What does it matter? Miss Tenero, you say that you saw the murder weapon dripping with blood. Is that correct? Yes. All that blood. Drip, drip, drip. Just recalling that scene sends a chill down my spine. Sorry, but your so-called professional flight attendant training has failed you. What? I could direct your attention to this. You know what this is? It's a travel wallet, right? But it's a little big and bulky. I think you saw me holding when I discovered the dead body in the elevator. Was this very travel wallet, Miss Tenero? What? Impossible. Now then, do you still think I'm the killer? I killed him with a travel wallet? No, but I saw blood dripping from the wallet. I know I did. As you can see, this wallet is clearly stained. So kind of take a whiff. You agree it's only grape juice. Then, that's right. You mistook grape juice for blood. Murder weapon dripping with blood does not, in fact, exist. No! There, that should clear up the pesky accusation. Wait just a second. That is, I mean, even a wallet could be deadly if it was wrapped around something heavy. I demand you show me what's inside, please. She's trembling. And the tacked on please at the end. Sounds like I've got her. There's no need to look inside. Even you can tell from its appearance that it's light. No, I can't be sure of anything until I see the contents of the wallet for myself. She's a persistent one, I suppose. We have no choice but to see what's inside. Mr. Nero, if you would be so kind as to open the wallet and check its contents for me. Alright. As you know, pry into passengers' belongings, but we have no choice here. I suppose all is in here. As you saw, there's nothing but a passport inside. As soon as your wallet was the murder weapon argument moot. Hear me out, Mr. Edgeworth. What is it now? I was wondering whose passport is it exactly? Can I take a look? Why not? I'm rather curious myself. This is just as I thought. This is the travel wallet belonged to Mr. Acmeheads, which makes it the victim's property. You stole the victim's wallet? You didn't you? How dare you? Yourself claimed to be holding this wallet in your hands when I found you. Perhaps I did misconstrue the wallet for the murder weapon. But it seems that I was wrong about who the culprit was. Oh, Lord. Okay, the murder weapon is not the travel wallet. However, it is something that you stole from Mr. Hicks after you were done with him with your vile deed. Or I believe myself, but your motive was very simple. About to steal Mr. Hicks' money, weren't you? So even though I didn't have the murder weapon on me, you still suspect me, I see. You stood up at the crime scene with the victim's wallet in your hands. How can I turn a blind eye and not suspect you in yet a foul play? I think I know the one I need to present here. I think it's the picture. Yeah, because all his money and stuff was laid out on the side. Present this.
Objection!
What if I might get a word in, Mr. Nero? Listen now. Mr. Nero, I wonder if you noticed the contradiction within your own testimony. What are you talking about? It's impossible. It's simply impossible for the motive of the murder to be monetary theft. One glance at the crime scene should have told you that. What about this scene would prove that the motive of the murder was not the money? The fact that the money was everywhere, all over the damn thing.
Take that!
Your attention to these things strewn all over the floor. That's right. The floor is covered in bills and coinage. By your rationale, the very thing the killer was after. I think we can assume the wallet fell during the victim's struggle with his killer. And I would think that the killer would have noticed something like money scattering everywhere. Furthermore, as you can see, there was no effort made by the killer to gather the money. But the wallet... Ah, yes, the wallet. You will also recall that the only thing in it was Mr. Hicks' passport. You are really insisting that it was a crime based on greed. You're claiming that it was all for an empty travel wallet. Forgive me. Please. Are you saying that the attendant's wrong? That guy isn't the killer? Don't believe it, everyone. It's a trick. Will you all please be quiet? Mr. Nero. Yes? You lost your cool when you saw the dead body, plus the lounge was dark and looking into the light from the elevator. It's easy to see how you messed up the wallet in my hand for the murder weapon. I take no offense that you thought I was the killer. Mr. Edgeworth. Thank you for releasing me. That guy's like giving me the curse of Ra or some shit. What the fuck? What is it now? Anybody else see this motherfucker giving me the curse of Ra? Like, what the fuck? Now, if you could please translate. Mr. Wingdings? Much obliged. Apparently. Sounds like Morginian, but I don't understand any of it. There's another attendant on this flight who's... I said that he is giving the runabout. Require an interpreter. I speak English just well, see? You, the attendant. Yes, sir. This person to be under arrest until we arrive at the airport. Sorry, sir, what exactly are you hoping for? What is it you want? I am finished talking to the likes of you. Please, I would like to hear what you would like me to be held. Why you would like me to be held on arrest as we land. You! How dare you waste my time? When you stuck your nose into my affairs. To spend even less one more second with my precious art. I have no time for other things. I know what you are. I see through you. Insolvent. So I'm pretty sure that's how you say it in English. Should hope I'm not monetarily bankrupt, but I don't think that's what you meant. I'm sorry, but I don't think I've caught your name. I am Zinc LeBlanc II. I am a very wealthy man in the Bourguignon. I am not an ordinary rich man. I am an art dealer, a rich seller of beauty. Mr. LeBlanc, what did you mean just now? Pardon? You said that Mr. Edward was giving me the runabout. I had to explain? Unbelievable. I will say it once again and only once. Not a second to waste. Time is money, as they say. And yet you continue to blather on. I saw it, yes I did. I saw the victim go onto the elevator, going down to the lounge. It's exactly 6 o'clock. And what's the significance of the time? At 6, he says. But wait, you saw him at 6. Ah, what's the matter, Mr. Edgeworth? He understands, I see. So then, at what time did you discover the body? Well, it was a little after that patch returned, so I would say around 6:15. Ah, Hicks was his name, wasn't it? Then I say that man Hicks was killed in the 15-minute time span. And the only person in the lounge at that time was this prosecutor. Yes? Yeah, I was in my seat the whole time. Me too. I was watching the movie and enjoying a fine glass of grape juice. I was still eating. I still haven't finished, see? And the passengers have an alibi, so I suppose you have no problem with them, I suppose. No complaint, I see. No compliant, I see. Okay, I said complaint this time. Not a single word against this, right? I have no way of discounting what you have put forth at this point, but it wasn't me. Oh, so you say. You have what you say. The evidence? Mr. Edgeworth, are you really the culprit after all? Mr. LeBlanc, I suppose you are quite certain in what you saw enough to give testimony? Of course, I was looking at the men the whole time. Just playing with that annoying little, small machine the whole time. Machine? Yes, that's what you people call it in English, right? Making me crazy with the click, click, click. And that description sounds like some sort of small computer. Mr. LeBlanc is talking about is a cell phone. I have to say that I did see him playing with it quite a bit myself. A simple cell phone, a laptop, or organizer I can see, but that's kind of low budget. I hate that noisy little machine in his hand. What a fragment of beauty. All it produces is ugly sounds. Anyway, I know what I saw. Mr. Nero, yes? I was wondering if I might be granted permission to examine the crime scene. What? You want to examine the crime scene? If you would grant me a little measure of time, I'm sure I can produce the real culprit. I don't like the sound of that fox in the duck pen. Yes, I think that's how you say it in English. It's fox guarding the hen house, and I believe my innocence was proven earlier. And if given the chance, I can clear up all the remaining doubts. Mr. Nero, if you would wait until we arrive, there's a good chance that some evidence will have been destroyed by then. I understand. Let me see what the captain has to say. Ah, this should not be approved. Please, Mr. LeBlanc, in an emergency, all decisions are to be made by the captain alone. Now, please wait here while I go ask the captain what to do. I'll be right back. Wonder where's evidence when you are doing your investigation, yes? Of course not. Ha! We will see. Mr. Edward, you have the captain's permission to investigate the crime scene. What? Unbelievable! I am in your debt, Mr. Nero. However, there is one condition. I am to supervise you. Can you agree to that? Of course, I can see no problem with that stipulation. It's only natural that I am still a suspect after all. I take full responsibility and will watch Mr. Edwards' every move. I hope this is reassurance enough that there will be no foul play. Now then, Mr. Edwards, shall we proceed? If you need any help with anything, please feel free to use T to talk to me. It's time to head to the crane of the crime. First floor lounge. Thank you for your help back there, Mr. Nero. It was nothing. You should thank the captain for granting you permission. And just so everything is perfectly clear, I still don't trust you. Your standing with me hasn't changed one iota. I see. Oh, bear that in mind. I received an order from the captain earlier. He wanted you to know that we reserve the right to stop your investigation if we feel you are not making progress. And when we do, he asks that you please return to your seat at that time. And it turns out at his and his crew's discretion, is it? I had to find a way to discredit Mr. LeBlanc's testimony before time's up. I understand. By the way, is there any place you can think of where the killer might hide on board? I don't think so. After every first-class passenger was accounted for at his or her seat, we made a thorough search of the plane. As to the business and economy class, no one can move between these two classes in first class without that keycard. No record of a keycard being used at all. Means that I have a first-class killer on my hands. At least know that much for sure. And one other thing, no one else has been allowed near this crime scene since the murder was discovered. I mean, obviously, we're gonna go. I'm gonna just look at this. Oh, let's get started. Where should we start from? Let's start with Mr. LeBlanc's statements. Crime occurred between 6 a.m. and 6:15. During that interval, the only person in the lounge was myself, which would make me the prime suspect. However, since I did not kill Mr. Hicks, the killer was around here somewhere. If you're to believe what you say is true, then yes. The first order of business will be to gather information to win your trust. What is this elevator service? Only the first and second, although it can also go down to the cargo hold. Or that requires a flight crew keycard. So 9 floors accessible to passengers are the first and second, huh? So I said that every suspicious looking nook and cranny. Got the murder weapon right here. This sinister looking figure on the floor here. That's a piggy bank of our company mascot, Captain Ugo. One of the many pieces of merchandise we saw at our flight shop. The make is a limited edition and it's so popular that we were down to our last one. In-flight shop. Yes, it's just beyond the lounge to the right. The shutter to the store is closed at the moment. It was open to the whole flight up until Mr. Hicks' body was discovered. What on here? Has it been the murder weapon? From all the way forward the elevator. I would guess it was all in Mr. Hicks' wallet at some point. What was hanging off this lanyard? There's something missing from this picture. Now, if I could just put my finger on it. Anyone was expecting a dead body in an elevator on this flight. So Mr. Hicks, he really is dead? Yes. She's trembling, although I can't fault her for that one. She's a corpse right here. Mr. Hicks, if you're really dead, then please answer yes. She's over trembling. No, although new symptoms need to appear. Anyway, she looked in the victim's body. Let's see. There's blood on the black of Mr. Hicks' head. Could this be the cause of death? He appears to have been struck very hard. Maybe the glasses are broken. Okay. Let's think here. Elevator. So this is obvious. The killer was inside the elevator. True, there wasn't anyone in the lounge other than myself right before the turbulence. But if the killer was in the elevator along with the victim, then it's a different story. Let's go with this. A statue with blood on it lying next to the body of a man who was beaten to death. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, I think you figured something out. Yes, what is it? The way the blood is on this, it looks like it matches up with the wound on his head. Aren't we deserving of the Master of the Obvious title? Well, what do you think, Mr. Edgeworth? Don't you think that's worth investigating? It would appear that this figure is our murder weapon. Well, I just knew it. I mean, I can't think of anything other connection. Master Captain Obvious would be more fitting. I don't think those connect right now. I was throwing this by the turbulence. It's been a while since I've seen this big of a mess. Terribly embarrassing, but I thought it was an earthquake for a second. And I frantically started searching for glass valves to shut off. Shaking the plane was bad enough to be mistaken for a real earthquake. Not that I would know since I was unconscious for most of it. Glasses must have been broken by the turbulence. There's quite a bit of broken glass here. Please be careful when passing through the area. Thank you very much, but they warned me, Mr. Edgeworth. However, no matter how kind you are towards me, Know that it doesn't clear up any suspicions I have about you. I wasn't warning you for the sake of clearing my name. A few copies of the Sky magazine in the magazine rack. This month's special is an English trivia quiz. It's not a bad idea. I've heard that the youth of today don't really know a particle from a participle. And please don't go around confusing people with made-up words, Mr. Edward. I've never heard of such a silly word as participle. Case in point. And as the pride of this plane, you can play the music of whatever CDs are inserted into its drive. It's not a piano, it's more like an overgrown music box. But a key is also depressed when the music is over really a someone playing. People have entirely too much money to waste on overly complex toys. A little bit cherries, another victim of the turbulence. Ah no, look at all the grape juice staining the back. Now look at this chair was extremely valuable. It was, yes, it was used when the Rocker Pals came to our place. Rocker Pals leader sat in this very chair. Right, what are these Rocker Pals? You've never heard of them. They're all the rage. The Rocker Pals are an extremely popular international band. And the Pals part is they became more popular, especially among teens. That explains I'm not really one for the music of today. Maybe I should ask Detective Gumshoe about them later. So I thought, I can already see how confusing this conversation would get. A pity that a bronze statue knows not when a good drink has been built at its feet. This is the statue of our founder, Mr. Ugo Hughes, who was a big fan of grape juice. I'm sure he'd be thrilled if he knew so much grape juice was here at his feet. A hint to hero worshipping can detect. Alright, let's see if I missed anything in here. Aha. Nope. We want if I take a look at what's inside. It's a picture. It was taken inside a building somewhere. My cell phone's missing. Mr. Jake's machine is nowhere to be found. His machine? Yeah, my cell phone, Mr. Nero. So guess it's not here. Yes, I think we can safely deduce that the killer took it. So let's see. Is that connected? No, I thought so. I think I've just about confirmed everything here. So I'm missing probably one thing here. The founder, Goya, Mr. Hugo Hughes. One on the left is when he was in his 40s, and the rest of him is in his 80s. The man aged all over those 4 decades, so you need to squint more. No one knows how goes to the sky, but these clouds tell me nothing. Mr. Edward, you look like you're talking to the cloud. And so tell me, what do you suppose I said to them? I don't know, but it looks like a rather one-sided conversation. Clouds, they tell me nothing. This is the flight attendant's room. But please understand that it's off limits to unauthorized personnel. It's giving off the scent of women's perfume. I would think the perfume would smell great, however, it simply smells. Not that I have any interest in what lies behind the door. You return to the investigation, Mr. Edworth? Mr. Edworth? Sorry, please stop for a second there. Checked everything there. I've already checked him. Ah, footprints. There's no great for someone in this. Small during the tournament. Let's clean up. There's someone like you hurt. Aha! What is it, Mr. Edworth? Found some very important evidence. What is an important piece of evidence in this thing? Footprints.
Take that!
What is it? They're a little smudged, but I think we can both agree that they're a set of footprints. So you think, yes, these belong to our killer. Oh, then maybe we should check the suit sizes of everyone in first class. I don't think that would be of any help to us. Fortunately, these prints are too smudged, which will make it hard to get a definitive match. Oh, I see. I have it. I'm sorry, but I don't understand, Mr. Edgeworth. Someone other than myself was here around the time of the murder. What, really? Yes. It's rather simple, actually. Proof's in the pudding, or rather, the grape juice in this case. These footsteps confess to me the very fact that someone exited the elevator alive. Seeing as though the victim is dead, that would mean a second person. But couldn't the footprints be from Mr. Hicks himself? But if you take a look at our victim's shoes, you can see that the soles are spotless, which means Mr. Hicks wasn't alone in the elevator. In fact, it's quite the opposite. There was actually one other person inside the elevator. What's going on over there? Ah, more Curse of Ra. Unforgivable, this is unforgivable. So what I am saying, the movie is late. It's the same level of bad as if the plane arrived late. But the movie... What? I will not talk to you anymore. You are just wasting my time. What's the matter, Mr. LeBlanc? Is there no emergency? Please return to your seat, sir. Do not tell me what to do. I do not need to sit down. Oh, Mr. Prosecutor, did you prove you are innocent yet? If you would like, I will prove my innocence to you right now. What? Nonsense! Are you saying my eyewitness testimony is mistaken? Not mistaken, merely there is room for doubt. Most Honor, if you could please tell me what you saw in detail once more. Fine, suit yourself! I certainly saw Mr. Hicks enter that elevator. It was when the needles on my pocket watch pointed to the 6 and the 12. What is your 15 minutes after that in the lounge, yes? And you, the only person in the lounge at the time, must be the criminal. Which should seem to make logical sense. After all, the only person in the lounge at the time of the murder was me. I know his testimony. If you think you can destroy it, then come and let me see. Hurry, do I look like a man who having the time to waste for you? He's so irritated. One accused of murder here. You must find out what to discredit Mr. LeBlanc's testimony so fast. It's gonna be a press him where he went to the elevator.
Hold it!
Mr. LeBlanc, were you able to get a good look at the inside of the elevator at the time? This is how it was inside. You're sure the victim was in the elevator alone? Yes, the only person inside the elevator was that Mr. Hicks man. Too important to let go. Inside was that Mr. Hicks man.
Hold it!
Is he really alone? Of course, I'll bet even 1 cent. Cheap and for a cheap testimony. But if that's how you want to play it, I'll happily take your 1 cent. Alright, so let's see. Let's see. That would be this. Yeah.
Objection!
Mr. LeBlanc, what is it? There's a very glaring contradiction in your testimony. What do you mean? Please take a look at the area in front of the elevator. There, the spilled grape juice. Yes, and we admit you spilled it with your blood? Spilled it with the blood? No, it spilled itself during the turbulence. But the interesting thing here is the set of grape juice footprints. Footprints? Yes, the ones that lead from within the elevator out to into the lounge itself. It's evidence that proves that someone other than Mr. Hicks exited the elevator alive. Oof. There must have been another person inside the elevator with Mr. Hicks. Now then, I'm done playing games. Why don't you tell us the truth? More Curse of Ra. Please translate for us. No way, that's totally impossible. I guess is what he said. No way, that is totally impossible. I know there was no other person in there. I saw with my own eyes. Do you know what I think, Mr. Edgeworth? I don't think Mr. LeBlanc is lying to us. I suppose she's right. He doesn't seem to be lying. Then what does it mean? What about this contradiction? Mr. LeBlanc, please, just once more, will you recall the details of what you witnessed for me? Mr. Hicks passed by my seat, always checking time over and over again. I happened to follow that man when I followed that man with my eyes when he left me. I saw clearly into the elevator he was entering. But I swear there was no one else inside. No one! Please calm down. What? Do you have an issue with my eyewitness testimony? No, not at all. Please forget what I said. And again, he does not appear to be lying. But I can't let this testimony stand as the truth. I think it's going to be pressing when he saw the time. Oh, it was here because he's mad. He was upset because he had the cell phone. So now, I'm always upset. The only time I'm not upset when I have a piece of art in my hands. Surprisingly easy to believe that I am. But I was even more upset when Mr. Hicks walked by me. I was checking the time over and over again. Let's press him here.
Hold it!
Why were you so attentive to this time? Because something unforgivable was happening. Come to think of it, you were yelling about something unforgivable earlier. I was giving a complaint to the attendant about the movie starting time. Return back to me my time and money. You understand the point? Wait, is that going to be the in-flight one that's mentioned in the magazine? With the plot at start time. Interesting. So now, License to Love, Laugh, Maim, and Murder. That's the movie in my country. You can only see it on international flights. I look forward greatly to that movie. Check my pocket watch whenever possible so I will not miss it. I even set my pocket watch to the destination time when I came aboard. So my watch is not wrong. It matched the schedule. The movie was still late, very late.
Hold it!
I'd like to ask you a little more about that, if that's alright. The movie I wanted to see would not start, so I checked my pocket watch many times.
Hold it!
The movie you mentioned. Is it the one listed in the Sky? Yes! I was looking forward to watching License to Love, Laugh, Maim, and Murder. Alright, let's check this fucking thing. So, movie. From 6 to 8. Looks like, yeah. So it was supposed to start, and it didn't. Corresponding, all times are shown correspond to our departure time zone. So it's not the destination, it's the corresponding. Okay, that's where it is. So showed up the scheduled time. Yeah, you simply slept through it by accident. Nonsense, you doubt me. No, stop pointing at me like that. Odd, how do you miss a movie that he was clearly hoping to see? My pocket watched a great number of times. That match, I know for sure. Took my pocket watch many times. Watched it to my destination's time. I always said it when I board the plane. So this is where we present the movie would have been started. It's either here or the one before it. Yeah, okay. You said that just now in your testimony. We set my pocket watch to the destination time when I came aboard. Now, your watch has been set to our destination's time zone. It would mean that your watch is displaying the time of our destination. Yes, and the correct time is worth at 6 cents. I'd like you to take a look at this. With the Sky magazine. Clocks on this flight run in accordance with the time of our departure time zone. Of course, the movie schedule was also created with that in mind. Mr. Istanero, for confirmation's sake, what time zone is this flight aligned to the right now? Only a short stop at a transfer point. That's right. It was in that small Asian country, the Republic of Sengfa. We didn't readjust our onboard clocks at that time. So right now we are still running on Borginian time. What? The time difference between Borginia and our destination is 9 hours. In that case, it's only natural that your watch would be out of sync with the schedule. What? Further, your analog set to our destination time. It would appear to be running 3 hours fast when compared to our flight's onboard clocks. It also changes everything about your testimony. And you can bet 1 million cents on that. Another this transformation, it means you saw Mr. Hicks 3 hours prior at 3 a.m. Wow! My 1 million cents! All the remaining accusations. This basically widens the time frame for the time of death, right? Yes, because Mr. LeBlanc saw the victim enter the elevator at 3 a.m. It means that the time of death could be anywhere from 3:53 to 6:15 a.m. She's falling asleep. Question is now, where was Mr. X during that time, and what was he doing? I have a feeling I know. Let me see here. It's just 10K. Yeah, I know, right? Okay, this was at the exhibit. Okay, I thought this was going to be in the cargo hold. Never mind. I've got something to say. And you are? Yeah, oh, I'm Cammy Melee. I'm a flight attendant. What is it you wish to say? Well, I think the story is a little different from how I remember it. What do you mean, Cammy? I mean, I saw Mr. Hicks sitting in the seat at 5 a.m., you know. How can you be sure of the time? Oh, that's right. He pushed his call button while we were parked at the transfer point. And, the stop we made for refueling a cargo transfer in St. Fob, correct? This flight will be making a brief stop to refuel and transfer cargo in the Republic of St. Fob between 4 and 5 a.m. Next about that, all passengers remain on board at the time. Thank you for your cooperation. God damn it, can't I again? Yes, so it's 4 to 5 from 4 to 5 a.m. according to our clocks. And during the time, did any of the passengers leave or did anyone board this flight? No. Not a single person got off or on in St. Fob. What about the flight crew? A few that were handling the cargo transfer might have temporarily gotten on or off. But eventually, everyone, including Cammy and I, came back on the plane. Okay, so no one left or got on since our initial takeoff. Interesting. Should keep that in mind. Yeah, and I answered his call. I can tell you, Mr. Acme Hicks was there in his seat, and we took off again at 5 a.m. Alright, then that puts the time of the murder between 6:05 and 6:15 a.m. Okay, now what time did you come down to the lounge, Mr. Edwards? I remember coming down here as soon as we left the Republic of St. Fob. Ah! Yo! You were the whole time from 5, yes? And you were the only one who could be the killer. Mr. Edgeworth, you really here in this lounge the entire time from 5 a.m. onwards? Unfortunately, yes. And how do we explain the footprints? Is not that obvious? Alright, welcome everybody from the other side of the stream. Did you eventually get your clear tonight, chair, or is PF still being as shitty for you? Welcome in everybody. We're playing some Ace Attorney Investigation. It's my first time going through, so it's been a good time so far. We're just kind of figuring out what we can do and going from there. Got under clear? Nice. Alright. This man waited for Mr. X in his lounge, waited to kill him, and then he put the corpse in the elevator. That's when the turbulence happened. My eyewitness testimonies may have been mistaken. What I saw was Mr. Hicks enter the elevator on the second floor does not matter. There's the entire incident concluded here in this lounge. It happened in this lounge. Do you really believe, Mr. LeBlanc? What? Do you have another idea? I simply feel that there is something out of place in the scenario you presented. Tie this crime to a location other than this lounge. Yes. I think it's this.
Take that!
Murder weapon. This little piggy bank is sold at the in-flight shop. It is sold there and only there, and is not displayed here in the lounge. How then did it find its way here? Don't you find that a tiny bit suspicious? Such a trivial point. It means that you prepared it, taking it from the shop first before coming here. To prove you are innocent at all. No way to win this time? If I may? What is it? You see... Well, Mr. Edgeworth says. Oh, and why do you know about this so well? Well, it's just that that piggy bank was there in the shop. I saw it with my own eyes. And when was this? It was maybe around 5:40 a.m. Isn't that just before we hit the patch of turbulence? That's right. You were in the shop just before the turbulence? Yes, I was. Come to think of it. Miss Tenero, when I found the body, I believe you came out of that door. Yes, I did. And what is beyond that door? That's the flight attendant's rooms. But then you were on the first floor. Yes. I had to do something at the shop and in the in-flight attendant's room. Went to the shop first and then to the flight attendant's room. You're saying you passed by me at some point? Yes, you seemed really into the issue of Sky magazine you were reading at the time. I suppose you noticed me walking by. I think I would call someone walking by, but I didn't take notice of who it was. Anyway, the piggy bank was definitely there at the shop when I went there. Why'd you go to the shop in the first place? I went there for a work-related matter. Work, you say? Yes, the upkeep of the shop is also one of my responsibilities. Why did you not say anything about that until now is what I want to know. In any case, I believe the shop needs to be investigated as well. Should we head over there then? What is it? What is it now? Aren't you forgetting something, Miss Rhoda? Don't you, need the captain's permission to check the shop? No, I haven't forgotten. But I have already asked him for permission to search the entire plane. So I think we're alright. That's weird. What is? I just talked to the captain, see? And he said that he didn't give you permission to do anything like that at all. What is the meaning of this, Miss Tenero? It means she's lying. Go on, admit that you are. You have permission to search all over, but you don't, and yet here you are. You, flight attendant, what are you trying to do? Pull the sheep over us? The captain's calling for you, Miss Rhoda. Oh, but don't worry. I already got permission to search the shop from the captain. See, unlike you, I do things the right way. Mr. Nero, why would you use such a thing? Please excuse me. It's like I get to be in charge now. Please go back to your seat, Mr. LeBlanc. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth. You know, if you would follow me, I will be your guide from now on. Think about Mr. Nero that has piqued my curiosity. Right now, investigating the in-flight shop is my top priority. Is that the gay lawyer? I don't think he's... Nah. Oh, well, maybe. I'll say maybe on this guy. I'll give him a big maybe. This is the in-flight shop. It's quite a mess in here. You think? Guess I'll have to clean things up then, teehee. Hold it. You can't clean up a potential crime scene. Oh, thank goodness. I hate cleaning up so much. I mustn't rush things here. I must remain cool, calm, and collected. Guess this piggy bank was left at the crime scene. There's a very good chance that the killer had paid this place a visit as well. Alright, so let's head over here. This display case door is shattered all over the floor. It looks like there's nothing on display inside either. Actually, I think there is something. What's this? A mini captain's hat. All kinds of luxury name brand merchandise for sale in display case. I'll line up in such a manner as to screen by me to any passenger side. Stuffed toys are the one Miss Mail is holding, or on display here. They're relatively cheap, which is why they're displayed so haphazardly. How about it, Mr. Edgeworth? You know you want one too. They're great when you're stressed. At least a stuffed animal abuse when she says that. Display case are roll of lifesavers and vests for sale. We saw a lot of those when there's some kind of accident or something. Some people buy them even when there's nothing going on. How about it, Mr. Edgeworth? Care to buy one? The shop was one shop away from being sued. My selection of souvenirs for sale in these display cases. You know what I'd suggest? Sorry, I have no intention of buying souvenirs on this trip. Okay, then how about you buy something for me then? As a present. I can't think of a single reason why I would buy you anything. But I've had my eye on that pendant for such a long time. Try paying some attention to me when I ask you for something, and then we'll talk. What are these? Oh, those are our company's completely original line of suitcases. Practically flying out the door. That's how popular they are. Maybe we should buy one and see how you like it. You won't regret it. This is how things work on this flight, but in the real world, you should try then buy. No way, but either way, it doesn't really matter. Either way, why would anyone buy a suitcase after they boarded the plane? Wait, see that? Look at all the Captain Ugo heads painted on there. Cute company mascot, isn't he? And then with a lot of care. Look like he's about to jump out at you. Something making something jump inside my stomach. Huh? I guess there's no fooling your refined tastes. Looked like you really wanted to get one. And I thought I was going to finally make my first sale, but you saw right through it. But that's done though. Never make me try to give you a sales pitch ever again, okay? Never showed any interest to begin with. It really is pretty horrible, isn't it? You want to know something? This suitcase was designed by Miss Rhoda. Miss Tenero designed this? Yeah. It's a company-wide contest. Well, it does have a very sharp design sense. Ah, sharp. Like stinky sharp cheddar, maybe? I really have no idea why the bigwigs decided to go with it. It's so bleh. So design these, did she? Definitely not what I would have expected. You okay? I'm fine. Please watch yourself, Miss Man. This suitcase really roll around has to be a safety violation. Here, I'll put it back. Here, I'll put it back. Beautiful flowers in a beautiful arrangement. Yep, I'm just about looking at them. Are you kind of like stepping on a few of them, you know, Mr. Edgeworth? Oh, excuse me. Let's see. This is a stretch. Ah, well. That probably used to be on the piggy bank's head. Let's give it a go and see. Piggy bank was forcibly removed from this display case. Does this mean that the killer broke the glass to get it? Really? Tell me you don't know what things go in here. Things go where in the shop? Well, I don't. Miss Rhoda's in charge of this place. So come on, how should I know anything? Since that further inspection of this display case is needed. I guess he got hit by this. Let's see. No, too much. Alright, let's see. This was the killer had broken in order to take the piggy bank. Put on the inside of the case so to avoid of glass shards. Plus the glass broke rather cleanly. Ah, what is it? I touched the glass and it cut my finger. Hurts, Mr. Edgeworth, it hurts. So you do such a minor cut on your own. Let's see. Let's see. In security, there's a lock on this case. Miss Mill, yeah, see something about this lock. The one who's in charge of the shop is Miss Rhoda, so she got the keys to all the display cases. Let's see. Oh, thought you want to buy something. Do you want me to go get the key from her? No, that's alright. Say, man, is Lobo trading the statues around the elevator? Yeah, and that's a paperweight of the founder of GoU, Mr. Airlines, Mr. Hugo Hughes. At the bottom shelf, we have the cute one. The middle one, and we have the cute one. The middle shelf is the realistic one. And on the top shelf, that's the floral version. And floral, are you sure about that? Let me guess, you just said the first thing that came to your mind, right? Looks like you hit, well, looks like hit the bullseye on that one. Put on one of the corners. Could this piggy bank be the murder woman? It was found inside the display case at the in-flight shop. In fact, there's any bearing on this case. Airlines, you know, I've seen that occur a lot recently. It's not bothering me greatly. There's some brands think it's effortless, but they smash two words together and call it a day. That's all I'm gonna get out of this.
Eureka!
Definitely something very unusual about this. What? The killer had broken the glass to get to the Captain Hugo bank. There should be shards of glass inside the case itself. I see. Yeah, I guess it'd be like that. However, there's not a single piece of glass inside the display case. Nope. No, there isn't. Which means that the glass was broken from the inside out. The piggy bank must have fallen over from the turbulence and right through the glass. Yeah, that's for sure. There's so much glass all over the floor. I'd bet that this hat was knocked off its head at that time, too. That's nice. This leads me to believe that the killer took the Captain Hugo bank from here after the turbulence. And she's asleep. Take your power naps on your own time, Miss Melee, and listen to what I'm talking. The murder occurred before the turbulence, which rules this piggy bank out as the murder weapon. So you mean the bank's not the real murder weapon? It's a fake? Yes, at this point, it's a very real possibility. But like, what if when the killer went to take Captain Hugo, they broke the glass by accident? The display case is locked, so that's highly unlikely. Yeah, but there's like one person who could have. Oh, and he would not be. Miss Rhoda, of course. And she's the one in charge of this place, so she has the keys to everything. Sort of Tenero, huh? Alright, so I've already done this, okay. Done everything here. Investigated that, investigated that. A 2-minute ad break there. That's fine, so I'm missing it, and then we'll go from there. Alright, chat, we'll give it just a bit longer so we can wait for the non-subs to come back, and we'll keep going. I know where this is going, but it's gotta be. I just gotta, you know, we'll do the check once the people get back, the non-subs come back. I want to make sure everybody has a good time watching my streams. At least try to, anyway. And break is finishing. Welcome back, everybody. So I think we need to do broken glasses during his glasses broke during the turbulence. Nope. Damn it. This. there's definitely something wrong here. What's the sudden yelling? Miss Nail, don't you think there's something strange about these suitcases? Well, sure. They totally ooze strange, like that color and such. That's not what I'm talking about. Now pay attention. You're scaring me, Mr. Edgeworth. Sorry. These suitcases are lined up a bit too prim and proper. They do look a bit uptight, don't they? I guess they take after their creator. Again, that's not what I meant, Miss Smale. Don't you find it unusual that these cases are only things undisturbed by the turbulence? I'd sooner find an answer by suspecting these suitcases myself. They really are quite hideous. What Miss Rhoda would have reacted if she'd heard what you just said. What's wrong? It's a good point. It'd be wise of me to watch what I say out loud. What's this? I saw something that's not quite right. What about this suitcase?
Take that!
I figured you thought the design was odd too. Never said the design was odd. Look at that attitude. Maybe point at these.
Take that!
What about these wheels? Huh? As in, there are no stoppers in place on these. Without stoppers, one would think the turbulence would simply fly. And it's very likely the suitcase was placed here after we hit the turbulence. Let's take a closer look at it, shall we? The permanent design of Mr. Hour or so. The design is certain je ne sais quoi about it. Yes, perhaps that's the best way to put it. It to be unlocked. Let's take a look at what's inside. A piece of cloth. And it's soaked with blood. It's blood. This suitcase is very strongly tied to our murder after all. So explain this to me. What does this suitcase have to do with the murder? It's pretty safe to say the killer used this briefcase since the suitcase doesn't matter. So it's to move something, perhaps. But what? Are you just talking about the cloth then? That alone is too small. A larger item would be needed to move what I'm thinking of. Maybe the killer used this suitcase to transport is the body.
Take that!
When it fit inside a suitcase that is also covered in blood. Sounds like a dead body, doesn't it? But in light of this, I'd say that Mr. Hicks was moved into the elevator from someplace else. I mean that the murder was committed in an entirely different location. Saying that after moving the body into the elevator, the killer brought the suitcase back in here and just left it? Exactly. What is it? Nothing, just that I was thinking about what Miss Rhoda said about coming here for something. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth? Give you a bit more time. But I'm afraid I wasn't able to convince the captain. I'm very sorry, Mr. Edgeworth. The captain feels that he has allowed you ample time. That he'd appreciate it if you would wrap it up here and return to your seat. I understand his sentiments, however, if I am not allowed to complete my investigation, the crime scene may become contaminated by the time we land. If I must stop, then I insist I be allowed to oversee the preservation of the two sites. Under your supervision, of course. It's your only condition that I will completely accommodate your wishes. I'm here to assist you in any way that I can, Mr. Edgeworth. Sounds like fun! We can camp out and watch over everything together. Look at the real crime scene is not in the lounge. I have enough evidence to prove myself to be innocent of any wrongdoing. Yet regarding this male reminding me about this scenario. I can't allow my investigation to end here. The truth must come to light. Save file 3. Alrighty then. I think this is a good time to stop it all. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. I have a feeling this is going to take a little while longer, so we'll just go ahead and end it here. So thank you guys again for joining me. I appreciate y'all stopping by. Thank you, Jer, again for the raid. I'm going to send you guys over to... let's go raid a nerd, I suppose. Let's raid a nerd. Make sure everybody says hi to Cinder. Call him a nerd. Thank you guys for joining me, and I will see you next time. Later.